Welcome, everyone. Welcome, one and all. Here are we again with Pink Room Live. We want to say to everyone, welcome. Ladies, how are you doing?
Hey everybody, missed
Wonderful,
you
wonderful.
everyone.
Wow, it's been a while.
I know, too long.
Yes.
It's been a while. So, we're going to ask everyone to just share on your Facebook, on your YouTube page, share on your WhatsApp, invite your friends in. We have a very short and sweet discussion today. But before we do that, we're going to do a regular check in. We want to see how everyone is doing. So, let's go around. We're going to start with Teresa. We're jumping on to Shonda, and then Tricia will end.
How about you, Norca? How about
And
you?
then I'll end after Go ahead.
Well, I don't know, cliche-ish, but I don't know where to start. However, I just want to tell you that, I've been listening to my body as well. I had to stay in bed for 4 days after a second bout of COVID.
Ooh,
Um, but it was a good time of reflection. And I will be ending my first year as principal next Friday. I told my daughter we're celebrating after that date because that'll be like the official date. So everybody in the family is healthy. I couldn't ask for anything more, and it's wonderful to be here with all of you and seeing you. I've missed you, so
yeah.
where I am right now.
Congratulations.
Oh
Yes.
yes, oh yes. Oh my. Oh, what is that slogan from the NAACP? The mind is a terrible
Terrible
thing to
things to
waste.
waste.
Oh, both the mind and the body. So that's just where I am. I'm gonna leave it there. Period with a T.
That's it, Shonda.
Right there.
Listen. So I think so I think I'm gonna join the choir of body telling us to slow down. I've been off for 3 weeks.
Mm.
Um just out first something and then something else and then the last thing my eye, that's why I'm wearing rose colored glasses.
Mhm.
So yeah, trying to listen because I have no choice but to listen. At this point, problems aren't gonna stop, challenges aren't gonna stop. We're not gonna get a break to stop. So sometimes you gotta make the break and stop. And I'm so happy to be in the Pink Room live tonight though.
Yes.
Yes.
So again, I want to invite all our regular viewers. I know it's been a while. You're probably saying, "What? You guys are on?" Yes, we're on. It's going to be very short and sweet. So we invite you to join on. We're doing our regular check-in. Just tell us how have you been doing? It's been a minute since we've talked, but how have you been doing in these last days? Um, as for me, I don't think my life has been any different from any of you in the sense that we are all doing a lot and we're
Mhm.
carrying a lot. And at this point of the year, it becomes very weighty because there are other things coming in, right? So it's
Yeah.
mid year. Teresa, you start a new school year. Tricia and I, we start a semester coming down the pike. Shonda, you have clients coming on. The revolving door
Yeah.
starts, and you really don't get much of a break unless you're intentional about carving
Mhm.
out that space
Yeah.
for yourself. One thing I'm very happy about is that CUNY has had the traditional summer Fridays off. So we work longer days, Monday to Thursday, and Fridays we are off, which is something that I think if we can do in the summer, we probably could do it for the rest of the year. Right. And I think that that's a little bit of a reprieve where people can just feel, okay, I can just step
Sleep
away from it
in.
all on Friday and have like a long weekend. So
Yeah.
that is
Mhm.
helpful. That
Mhm.
is very, very helpful.
Good, good, good.
So we're not hearing from anyone yet, but we want to continue our discussion. As we said, we have a very, very little time today.
Yeah. So if they're gonna call anybody, they better hurry up because by the time they get on, we'll be signing off.
Right. So I just sent to a couple of friends, and I'm going to invite you to also send to
I
yours.
did. Hmm.
I want us to. We're going to start with our first video that
Okay.
we're going to share, and
Are you gonna set it up?
yeah, this is about. Can everyone see it?
Yes.
So let's remember our topic, right? Our topic is brown girl. Wait, sorry. do women of color deserve their moment, something of the sort, right?
Yep.
We see that there's a lot going on, especially now in graduation season,
Mm.
where women of color, both black and brown, feel that their moments are being stolen from them, and these are younger women, right?
Yes.
So let's start with the first one. This was actually posted, and
Portion graduating seniors is ruined.
we don't have copyright for any of these videos. We're taking from people's social media pages. We're starting with, this is a TikTok that was placed. It's a report, but it was used by the same teacher that you will see in the video. This is her TikTok page, and this is what she posted.
They tell us school administrators remove Spanish Honor Society sashes right before they walk the stage.
Yeah, those sashes were given for good grades and volunteer hours. Anieli Ruiz joining us with the story from Humboldt tonight. Anieli?
Well, the Spanish National Honor Society teacher says she received approval for the students to wear the sashes during graduation back in April. Matter of fact, they had a special ceremony giving the students the sashes on Cinco de Mayo, and administrators were present. But all of this was forgotten during graduation when the sashes were removed. What was supposed to be a very special moment for some students at Summer Creek High School,
I was just so happy and excited.
quickly turned sour for them.
I was in shock that they took it.
Students with the Spanish National Honor Society had their sashes removed right before they crossed the stage. Take a look. You can see administrators folding them behind the stage. One man even walking across with one of those in his hands.
We put in our time. We put in our time into these clubs, and it's 100+ hours we put in. And just for it to get taken away like that, it's so disrespectful. It's so humiliating to not even us, but to our families, because we want to show what we have an accomplishment like in school.
The teacher in charge of the Spanish National Honor Society was angry at what she saw. She even tried speaking with administrators at the graduation to address the problem.
And the only thing he said is, Bautista, we'll talk about it on Tuesday. And he just let me get out, right?
Bautista felt like they were only targeting her students. In the graduation video, we did see others with sashes representing other programs allowed to cross the stage. Bautista was so hurt, she made a video for social media that was shared thousands of times.
To me, personally, it's racial discrimination. And this is something that I've been having to fight for, to represent my community.
The school district, on the other hand, said this was just miscommunication. The person checking the students' outfits had no idea the sashes, which also were designed in style representing the Latino culture, were approved.
We feel terrible that the students were not allowed to wear their Spanish National Honor Society sashes when they walked across the stage. They should have been allowed to wear them.
And to repair the damages, the district is reaching out to the students.
We are reaching out to them and offering them a free portrait of them in their stole. We will recreate the scene and then take those pictures of them in their stole and put it back into the graduation video.
But the students say it's too late. That special moment of crossing the stage is gone.
I personally.
All right, ladies, thoughts?
Woo!
So number one, they weren't given these sashes. They earned these sashes. There's a big difference. They earned them. This is work that they did voluntarily over, above, beyond what they needed to do to graduate. And the person in charge of letting people on the stage is usually, Teresa, you can correct me, Norca, because we're all in education, is usually 2-3 steps away from the person reading the name and could very quickly either pass a card, ask a question, and would have gone the answer in regards to, I've seen a lot of these that look the same. Should I let them go through?
Well, to begin with, when they march, I mean, when they marched in,
Yes.
they identified, right? This was as much as, they might apologize, the person who was removing them, it was an intentional action to humiliate, these students. And, I mean, of course, I wasn't there. you could say that, right? I wasn't there. I'm not the person who actually did this, but what I can tell you is, as you know, somebody who has been in education, especially when you're talking about graduation, we have control over that, right? There is plenty of communication that goes on.
Rehearsals.
Expectations are presented to students, to parents. So to have somebody right when the students were coming up, because that guy, the gentleman who, you know, was walking across the stage there, had it in his hand. I mean, he had just recently removed the, you know, that sash. Unfortunately, the evidence points to, you know, somebody purposefully wanting to, you know, just humiliate these students in a way that is definitely racially charged. And it's such a disappointment that, you know, this is the 21st century. And, you know, I was thinking about this, you know, that when the title of this program was presented, and we were gonna, you know, and seeing, you know, this video, you know, these young women, and I think it was all girls, right? Had to go through. I'm not sure if it was all girls. I'm sorry, but I know we're going to talk about another video that was all girls. But I wanted to share something with you. You know, recently, Eva Longoria directed a movie. And it was like #1 on streaming, you know, because the Searchlight, you know, company was like the highest streaming movie. It's an inspirational movie about this, you know, Mexican janitor working for Cheetos. I mean,
yes, the fire ones.
Anyway, the first thing that I saw after that came out is all of this. And I'm going to tell you, the majority of the commentary or, you know, videos that were coming out were white people wanting to denounce the fact that the story was accurate. And, you know, I was thinking like, oh my goodness, like it's, you know, it's such an inspirational story. You know, they can't let people of color have their moment. They can't, you know, all these, you know, inspirational stories have to have a white savior in there somewhere, right? And because this one doesn't, right? You know, this is a lot of brown people doing their thing, and you know, and actually, you know, having a woman of color direct the movie and everything, and I was like, wow. I mean, it was vicious, and so with that
mindset,
that just came to mind. I'm thinking about these, you know, these students who, you know, they were targeted. You know, it's evident. Because this is not this, you know, school's first graduation. You know, you're not going to tell me that, you know, oh, they were clearly disorganized and that's why, you know, this didn't happen. It's very hard to believe that.
And just before you move on to the other one, Norca, I want us to just pause a little bit and listen to some of the words that were said. It was said that, unfortunately, the sashes seemed like were like very Latin American in the way they looked. So they were cultural.
Right.
So this person decided that to erase the culture. It wasn't only about the sash, because honor sashes happen all the time. They could have had a white sash or a green sash, and they probably would have been able to go through. But because they look like sarapes, right? They looked like sarapes. So because of the way they looked cultural, this person decided that it was not right for them to celebrate their culture at this moment. And I think that is important for us to bring out. Not just the fact that they took it away from, because maybe there were other students that also earned these, not only Hispanic students. There's a lot. These young people love everything. I mean, I'm sure there were other students who went into the club and did the volunteer hours and all of that. But because this represented a culture, they found that that was a justification for removing it from them as they were going through this thing.
And you know, your comment is on point, because one of the, I like to read the comments under these videos, and there were several comments pointing to the fact that, well, this was a serape. This was not, if it's an honor, it should be a cord. It should not be something looking like that, right?
Cords are for GPA. Cords are for GPA.
And listen, they don't have a right. That's not their right. They don't have a right to decide that. Maricela says here, this was definitely racially motivated. They stole these students' moments, cannot be restituted. It's gone forever. Wow. Yep. Okay, any thoughts before? I know Shonda, let me see. Shonda, any thoughts on the students and their honor sash before we move on to the next one?
No, I think it's been well said. Definitely, you can see it's racial. You can definitely see that because of the vibrant colors. We like colors. We like to celebrate, and we should. Respect it, people. Respect it. We like to shine.
And move.
So let's go to this other one, which is I find fascinating. Let me see here.
Jabria Scott.
Wait, I want to play from the beginning.
Stephanie Uck.
Nobody should have been able to wave or blow kisses or do period signs because I feel like that's the same thing. So I just thought it was really unfair.
Abdur Rahman says she's not alone. 3 other girls did not get their diplomas on stage, but all of them did after the ceremony. The school district of Philadelphia said in a statement, quote, "The district does not condone the withholding of earned diplomas based on family members cheering for their graduates. We apologize to all the families and graduates who were impacted and are further looking into this matter to avoid it happening in the future." Although Abdur Rahman wishes she had a better experience, she and her mother hope school leaders learned a valuable lesson.
It's 2023. A lot has happened. These girls went through COVID together. I understand traditions and rules are set, in place for a reason, and we're not saying that they should be broken, but it might need to be revised also.
Right. So I want to share now. I found the video with the other girls, which I found fascinating. It seems, I think the mother brings out a good point. What do you guys think about the fact that these students, they survived a lot? It's a moment, it's their moment to celebrate and not ours to take away from them.
But not only that, the rules are man-made. The rules are human-made. They're not salvific. They're not life-threatening. These are rules that humans made, which means that these are rules that humans can revisit.
Right.
And that we are at a stage in our history where I've been in graduations. I've been in charge of graduations from multiple countries where the celebrations are with pots and pans and spoons. The entire family has invested all of their earning to make sure that one person can come to the United States and earn a degree.
Yes.
And they all save the 5, 6, 7 years to be able to buy the plane tickets, get the visas to be able to come. And you're going to tell me that they're supposed to sit there quietly and demurely while the hopes and dreams of their entire family is going across the stage, and you don't see that it might be wise to talk to the graduates and their families about not only tell them what the rules are and what they cannot do, but say, let's have a conversation of how would you like to be celebrated in this moment. It doesn't matter that it's an academic exercise.
You are asking for a lot.
I know.
Right now,
but it's
I am against,
I know. I work in academia.
Yeah. I know.
Time. We don't even want to pronounce the people's names.
Let me tell you, no, we don't. At least in my college, we graduated 5,000 students. Not one name was called.
No.
They had to go to their individual private department graduations and for them to hear their name, if they heard their name. So I make it a point every year that I make sure that our graduates get their moment, their banging of the pot, their celebration. It's a big, long affair. People stroll across because that moment has been stolen from them already in academia. But you're bringing a good point, Tricia. We're not taken into account the humanity of the people who are sacrificed.
Their money paid the tuition
Thank you.
for the university to get that tuition.
Right.
Those families invested their whole life
Yep.
to be it, because these kids aren't getting a break. They don't get student financial aid. They don't get Sally Mae. They have to prove that they have 40% of their degree covered day one in banks. And you're going to tell me all that sacrifice, the money is fine, you're going to take it. But when these same families who invested the money want to come and want to celebrate the way they celebrate, you're saying, no, leave your culture back home?
Yeah. So let's put on these high school girls and let's see. This is the young lady that
Hafsa Abdur Rahman.
what she did. That was a picture. And it was off stage.
Jabria Scott.
And the reaction there.
Stephanie Uck.
All right. And this is the other young lady. You have to look very closely.
Rihanna Baxter. Mahik Ahmad. Betty Lee. Shayla Davis.
Oh, so terrible. And then this is the other one. Let me put her from
Salima Birch. Ann Etienne.
Why she didn't get her paper?
Vania Topping.
Why she didn't get her diploma?
As you can see, not happy family members there. And as you could barely look at it. One girl greeted her family and the family shouted. The other one did a hand gesture. And that prompted, they could not receive. And we know it's not the real diploma, but the gesture in front of the family and publicly.
It's humiliating, you know?
Humiliating.
No, I saw it. And I was like, I'm confused. I don't see what happened. What did they do? When we were preparing for this, like, what happened? And Norca said, believe it or not, it's hand gestures. Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we're doing now.
And these are high school girls. Like, this is not. And as Maricela says, that moment will never come back. I don't care how much pictures, the first school, they were, oh, we're going to insert the pictures with the da-da-da-da-da. That public moment will never come back. Like, such a bitter taste. And for the families, because you heard the family, why didn't she get her diploma? What happened? Why didn't she get her diploma? So,
you know how hard these kids,
yeah,
besides COVID, which isn't a small besides, it's a big laying aside of COVID right now.
Right.
But how hard these kids have had to fight to stay focused,
right,
to be able to graduate out of high school. I'm not talking about any specific socioeconomic background. I'm not talking about any type of class. I'm saying in general, kids at this time in history have had to focus to finish high school. It's not a small accomplishment. And they have so many of their peers who aren't fighting, who gave up.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the opportunity for them to gain something positive out of all the sacrifices, right? They have put immediate satisfaction away for the long-term goal of graduating out of high school.
And this is what we tell them. And this is what we tell them is a recipe for success.
The only thing that keeps them is knowing, focusing, their moms or dads, whoever, mentors, advisors, saying, it's okay. Your goal is to go across that stage and get that diploma. Don't we say these specific words?
Yes.
Your goal is to walk across the stage and get that diploma. And when they get to the point They walk across the stage and someone is going to just say, oh, well, yeah, no, but you're not getting your diploma.
Yeah. Teresa, as a high school principal, if you ever did something like this,
I was going to say, if I was one of those moms, listen.
Mercy. No. You know, let me just tell you that we, the business manager and myself were commenting on how mellow this school year, this high school graduation had been, because we didn't have a whole lot of people screaming and yelling, because we were like, we're expecting that. We're expecting that. You're expecting that people, it's a joyous moment. And let me just say something in this, I think
Here's
this
my
is,
thought. Oh,
sorry? Okay. Look, this is a rite of passage. Okay. This is a rite of passage. And we have to understand the incredible, social emotional value that rites of passage have for, especially, for our young people who had, I think about my son who was supposed to have his graduation the year that we were locked up. I mean, it was devastating. I mean, they still, there's still like some emotional issues that they're having to deal with because, and I know that there are many kids whose parents are like, man, my kid's still struggling, because they didn't get to experience that rite of passage. I mean, rites of passage are incredibly important for our, social emotional development as human beings. That's why we have, all of these, every culture has their own rites of passage. This is one that, we get to celebrate, that we get to, feel honored in, because, we have accomplished something, and it's a direct attack. I think, the pettiness of that administrator.
There we go. Pettiness.
The pettiness of that administrator to, I want to think that in their desire to control, right? Because that's what it is. I mean, they're trying to look, when you have rules for your graduation, maybe, somebody, flips somebody out at one point. I'm trying to think, why would you have any rules like that, right? Maybe, somebody did something obscene at one point. I don't know what the background is for those policies that they have in place. But what I can tell you is that, the more that we exert control over people, the more resentment and pushback that they're going to get. I'm sure, that these young women are going to look back and for all their life feel resentment for, I'm sure they'll, hopefully, I pray as a woman of faith that they will find, the freedom to let go, of the pain that they are experiencing right now, but they will forever look back and want nothing to do with that institution.
Absolutely.
Because of what it did to just, mar this rite of passage that is so important for all of us. I mean, that's the reason we do them. That's the reason we celebrate. As a school administrator, I can tell you, I mean, I feel devastated that these children, because they're children, they're children. Okay. They might be 18-year-olds graduating from high school, but they're children having, the people that are supposed to support them the most in their educational journey, aside from their parents,
right,
hurting them this way.
Right.
It goes totally against what we are called to do as educators. So,
Teresa, your point is you're so on point. You know why? Because we are with that action as an educator, you are withdrawing all that you say or that you gave the oath to be. I mean, I'm glad that you brought that up. With that action, you reversed everything. You tore down everything that you supposedly stand for and believe in. So yeah, it's a deeper thing. Yes, the moment is stolen, but there's a deeper message that is sent here. And I read some comments from an alumna from that institution white woman who was saying that the rules are the rules, and 150 girls graduated and only 3 decided to do that. Well, they should have followed the rules, blah, 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 blah. And I want to bring it back to 2 things, but I want Shonda, give us your point, and then I'm going to go back to Maricela, which would bring that.
And I want to correct also.
Yes. Shonda, can you go ahead? I think she froze. Shonda? I think she froze. Teresa, you want to go ahead with your point?
I want to say, when one of the things that I've learned, because as you know, this has been a year of a lot of growth and a lot of learning. One of the things that I've learned is that yes, you will have those students.
The world of Wi-Fi is dancing over here. So
okay, go ahead, Shonda. We can hear you.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's real choppy, but real quick, just to say that this is to teach these young girls of color a lesson. Stay in your place. That's how I can. One of my thoughts is it's just we're going to teach you from this stage, college graduate, high school. Stay in your place, woman of color in the world. This is what the oppressor would want for you. But so sad they're receiving those messages at moments of celebration. And we should never weary of a celebration, especially as people of color in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So,
thank you, Shonda.
Thank you, Shonda. But what I was wanting to share is that there, if you, as an administrator, want to correct, a behavior that goes against your policies, there are so many ways of doing it. We had some students at the end of the school year saying, "Oh, I don't have to comply with X." Things that they had to do. And I said, hey, that's perfectly fine. Whenever you come, and this, we didn't do this publicly, right? We just said, hey, if they didn't comply, guess what? When you come and ask us for, because you will need a letter of, good standing, I won't give it to you, because you're not in good standing. And, that's what they could have done. Just say, if you decide not to comply with our rules, then, there's this other consequence, but you don't take away that moment from a student. There's things you don't do, and this is one of them. You have, if you as a school need to send a message, there's so many ways that you can, just let students know, hey, we said that this is, and then of course you also have to go back and, she had no idea. She was on the other side of the stage. So I don't know what she what exactly it was that she saw. If we're looking at that video, looking at it from, the frontal view and just kind of like wondering what could that student have done in order for that reaction to have happened. So there's like so much there that's wrong. And
I want to read Maricela's comment here. She has a question. She says, my question is this: was this always going on and we were just not woke as we are now to these injustices? And Maricela's question brings me to the recognition that a lot of these ceremonial things that occur in places like academia are very steeped in
white supremacy
culture. We have to realize that. I watched, if anyone, you go Google on or look at YouTube, African University's graduation, and I was shocked because every student, they are back flipping, they're raising their legs, they're doing their tribal dance, and they're white folk, they're giving out these diplomas and they're letting them do their thing.
But not
and I'm like, okay, so celebration has always been a part of who we are as a people, and to try to stifle that with, oh, we're academia and these are the rules. I even get troubled at my college when I see they have like baccalaureate and they're calling the students with honor, and they make sure they make this huge thing where they say, do not clap, do not say anything until we have said all their names. When you ask them why they do that, they say because parents are coming and they want to hear their child's name.
No, it's because the matter of celebration is different, and you're afraid that when they call your child's name, you will hear a very discreet. And when you call Teresa Alvarez Diaz, you're gonna hear, woo! That's the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say this again. Rules are human made.
That's right.
If you made them, we can unmake them.
That's right. That's right.
And whether it is a woke thing, whether it's old or it's new, we are living in a moment of history where, as educators, we know, because there is research that shows that students need to know they belong, that there is cultural concordance, cultural concordance in their institution, that their communities need to care about them, speak to them in their love language, in their learn language. And if, as an educator, you aren't reading, you aren't learning, you need to get out. No matter how much academia is steeped in slow, nothing ever changes. That's not the world we live in today. People today don't need to go to college to be making six figures. You need their donations. You need their donations. Call any of these 4 girls when they are in Fortune 500 CEOs and try to get them to come speak at your graduation. Try to get them to come donate some money for the students and see how it goes. It's time for a change.
I don't know if you guys feel the same. Those of you are educators, but I feel that we often do not recognize students enough for their effort.
I agree.
We give them a grade, good. Yeah, they earned the grade, but there's students that are doing, they're making significant, and we don't recognize. We give them a little something once in a while, and it's like they're begging. Like, no. Listen, if you go to my LinkedIn page, I'm always recognizing my students.
Yes, I see it now that I'm on it.
I'm always doing it. And some people are like, why are you always doing that? Because we don't recognize their effort enough. And they need to know that we celebrate them and we appreciate that they take this journey seriously. And if it wasn't for them, we won't get paid. So yes, we celebrate every little thing that they do.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that, Norca, because I think that is key to becoming a better educational institution across the board. We need to realize that these people, these students, are our clients, and we need to treat them as such. That's the issue. Would you do that to somebody who you saw as a client? No, you would try and figure out how to better address the issue. And unfortunately, because these students are not seen as clients, they're seen as, beneath the level of, academic achievement that, the administrators have. It's sad, but I think that the educational system needs to take some of the, business principles and apply them for their students' better experience.
I think that I agree with you, Teresa, except that now people aren't even treating people of color that are their clients in the way they should be treated. So you have all the different businesses, from food industry to tourism to just fashion, wherever you go, where people of color are being discriminated against based only on the fact that they're of color. And I want to say that to say, education is not a part or separate from what we live in our entire society. Just like our entire society is coming from the Mr. Floyd got murdered backlash, where everything that was gained has been lost, and we knew it was going to happen. It's happened in every single space, from religion to education to health to business to politics. To sports. How are you going to say that some sports are for smart people and some sports are for freaks of nature? What are you doing? So in every single space, we are seeing this backlash of, oh, you thought you had something? I'm coming for you. And if we do not realize that as educators, we're supposed to be the ones leading the charge, that you have to leave your personal issues at home and educate for today's and tomorrow's world, then we're doomed. We're doomed. It's left right back to parents and and churches. And if that's the case, then we need to step up in those other two places, at home and at church, to be able to enrich the lives of our children and give them the resilience they need to know that they're going to be going through this stuff. Just like Norca said, it's too much to ask. Know that they're going to be going through this stuff and what they need to have to be resilient and succeed in spite of it.
Wow. I would love to hear from our viewers. I know there are several people online. Chat in, tell us what your thoughts are. Ladies, it's 7:48.
I knew it was impossible.
Still have one more video to cover. So are we covering this video? Are we leaving it out? What are we doing? What say the board? Whatever the board says, we will do. What you guys say?
Go ahead. I'm here.
And Victor says hi, and then hi. And I told him I'll be back in half an hour. He says, yeah,
All right. So
hi, he said.
Hi, Victor. We are going to share this next one, which is pretty controversial, but it's again, a young woman who my moment was stolen from me, right? So
well, they tried to.
They tried to get her moment, right?
She snatched it right back.
Okay, let's go. You didn't let me get my moment, so I want to say my name is Khadija Diallo, and I'm graduating today. I don't like how you snatched the mic out of my hand, so today is gonna be all about me.
Oh, drops the mic. Congratulations!
So, here's my story time. Basically, what happened was, I was walking on, and we had to announce our names and say our name before we get on the stage. So, I was saying my name, and she literally, my name is long. My name, obviously, I have like 3 syllables in my name. I'm not gonna say exactly my name right now, but okay, just so you get a point. So I didn't even finish getting to say my name. And then the people that went before me and everything, they all got to say their name, their major, and even extras. And me and another girl noticed that she was pulling the mic down super fast for some Black people. I don't want to be that person, but that was the team. So, I mean, I just couldn't let that happen, because I just feel like I worked so hard to graduate and went through so much shit to graduate that I just felt like I had to reclaim my moment. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not a problematic person. I don't want to ruin no one's day. I don't want to violate anybody, but that's what she did. She didn't even let me finish speaking. She put the mic down, cut me off, and that was the only time I was able to speak. So I just feel like that wasn't right.
So I will tell you that her video has gotten over 21, not her video, the video of the scuffle, or some people call it the wildie, got over 21 million views, right? Wow. And she's been on major networks, CNN, I mean, not her personally, that video, CNN, New York Post, several. Now, as a result of that, there are 2 other young women, and I'm going to just show one, who have come out saying that her story is not right. So we're going to share here one of the eyewitnesses.
All day yesterday. The ceremony was great. Everything else was great.
Wait, sorry.
Okay, let's go. You didn't let.
So that video is a little hard to watch, but I too graduated from LaGuardia Community College yesterday, class of 2023. I was there. Everyone had the opportunity to say their first and last name. No one said anything more. No one said anything less. The young lady, I understand it was her moment. I feel like she went about that the wrong way. No one was discriminated against. No one was racially profiled. No one was trying to discriminate against her. And to be totally honest, she handled this very poorly. I'm sorry that she felt like she had a bad experience, but this was the only issue all day yesterday. The ceremony was great. Everything else was great.
All right. So there we have it. There's another young woman, but her video is way too long, who also says the same and shows the video where the administrative official is, there are two lines and she's putting the one mic at one person and moving it and putting the other one back and forth to show that, everyone got equal time. There were some students who would say, hey, big up whatever, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, whatever, added some stuff in there, but it didn't seem as if there was more to that. I'll tell you that this happened on my campus. I did hear the scuffle, but I really didn't know what was going on. I was deep in work. That's not our college. We were hosting them, and they're right in front of the quad there. So it was a loud, abrupt kind of thing. But until I saw the social media, that's when I realized. So this story is very interesting because here you have this young woman who's claiming my moment was stolen from me, and she feels that she was discriminated upon. But you have others who are saying everyone got equal time. What are your thoughts, ladies? This is a firebomb right here.
Well, as they say, right? There's your story, my story, and the truth. On this one,
Teresa, would you have held on to that microphone? Would you have fought that girl for the microphone?
No, I wouldn't.
Neither would I. Neither would I. Even if she was in the wrong. The moment that started happening, I'm letting go of the mic because I'm the adult in the room.
Right.
Because she's not going to have a tantrum by herself. Crazy would be her doing this by herself.
Right.
She wasn't doing this by herself. The scuffle happened between two people.
Yep.
And the adult in the room kept holding on. So, yes, I wish she had handled it better. But yes, also, that shows me build up. That doesn't show me that day was the only day in her 4-year experience where all of a sudden she felt that she said it. I went through so much to get to this moment. So this is building up, building up, building up. She gets to that day. Whatever happened, and then she's gonna fight her for the microphone.
Yep.
It's a very good point, Tricia.
It is, Tricia. Thank you for pointing it out.
Excellent.
Yeah. I think that holding on to the mic, and again, this whole idea that we control everything. We are in control. Never mind that the student is paying tuition to pay us. Never mind that the student is coming to learn. I don't want to say from us, with us, because I always believe my students teach me. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not there. I'm not the purveyor of all knowledge.
Right.
Never mind that we're supposed to be a community of support for the student, pushing the student forward at this point of their life. I now feel that I'm in control, so I'm going to fight you for the mic at the moment. Something wrong with that part of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a lot of people are concerned because they're saying, it blew up. So the thing is all over. The video is all over. There's some wacky memes about it. It's hysterical. But people are wondering does this hurt her chances of getting good employment?
It depends on who wants to employ her. There are so many people of color, women of color who have buckled and fought the system so much that they just decided to branch out on their own, that they're giving grants to younger people who think outside the box, that they want agitators and people who will shake feathers or ruffle feathers in whatever area of work there is. They will be one of those 20 million people, or one of the 20 million people will send the video to them. She'll get a job. She'll get a job. She won't get a job in a traditional place that is looking for somebody to, fit within the box and check everything. But she'll get a job. Listen, even if it's as an influencer, 20 million views.
Yeah.
Look at all the important stuff we've talked about. Life-saving. Have we ever gotten?
Never gotten 20 million views.
Exactly.
So 20 million views will count for something. You're right.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right.
That's right.
You're absolutely right.
She definitely will get a job, and for those who refuse, that is a form of discrimination because we all make mistakes in life, both professionally and academically, and so it might become a learning moment for her. The opportunity for her to go to a company that she qualifies for being hired, but to say, let's this video. I mean, we know social media is what causes harm to a lot of people, but she deserves the opportunity to go in and say, you know, I learned maybe I could have done better, and that can be a true skill going into the workforce.
Absolutely.
So what are the lessons as we close out this pink room on, you know, young women of color having their moment? And I think that great stuff has been shared here about even in the realm of education, how we should really help and support, especially our students of color, because they've been through so much and are going through so much. What are the lessons here? What are the takeaways? And if you're watching us, if you would like to put a lesson there also, we would love to hear from you. What are the takeaways from these videos and all that we have talked about today?
You know, I think that it's incredibly important that we support students throughout their experience to give them the strength that they need. If and when, but more of a when they face, unfortunately, these situations, right? I just finished reading a book by Daniel Pink called Drive: The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us, and he just gives some really good strategies on what to do with students to help them be to how we can support our students. And one of the things I wanted to share with you is this, because I think that one of the things that we need to do is you were talking about praising students, we have to do that. You know, we have to praise them. And he says to be specific with your praise, like tell them exactly why you're praising them. And so that creates, a narrative in their minds to really embrace who they are. So, I would say if there's anything that you can do right now to support any student that you know or that you're involved with, or or they have the privilege of teaching, especially students that of color, that you be specific with your praise. That will go a long way to empower them.
Right. Love that, Teresa. Very good. Yeah.
Education is changing. It has to. If education doesn't change, the world will continue with or without it.
Yes.
It's not like the world is going to stop because education didn't change.
Teresa, let me pause here and let's tussle that already a little bit. We see that already.
That's a whole other pink room.
Yeah, we see that already happening with the
AI,
the enrollment crisis and AI that we're facing in the country.
Please, that's
people are saying 4 years too long. Why all that money? Blah blah blah. So you're right. Repeat that what you said, Teresa. It's very important. If education doesn't change,
the world will move on without it.
And look,
what is it? The what edge? The student.
Emotional quotient edge. Talking about how we need to address emotional intelligence as the number one factor for success in students and not academics.
Not only that, most people teaching do not have it.
No, thank you. Thank you. That's the next point, and that's why
said it.
Education is in trouble, and that is probably the name of our next.
Yeah. Why education is in trouble? Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, Teresa, I cut you, so continue.
No, yeah, that was basically it. Education has to change. If it doesn't change, people will continue to move on, do what they need to do to survive in this world. I have my son and his roommate staying this summer here in my house. And these two kids they're studying majors in some other thing, and they create videos and and websites and things for companies that hire them and pay them real money to do this, that has nothing to do with what they're in school for.
Right.
They're just good at this. And another friend is leaving because he's very good at building computers. And he's not being taught what he needs to learn to be able to do that. And getting a business degree is too expensive. You might as well just do a certificate or have the money to hire somebody to do the business side of the house for it.
Yep.
Either we get on the train or the train's gonna leave.
Yeah.
It's leaving.
Yeah. Shonda, just before you come on, we had asked a question, did her actions, meaning that young lady at the end, hurt her future? What are your thoughts? Maricela responded, it depends on what and whose lenses are looking at it. And we agreed with her. Shonda, tell us your lesson for today.
Yes. Lesson learned, I think we as human beings need to take a moment to surrender, no matter what our position is, to give anyone, from the smallest to the oldest, a moment to celebrate, to praise them, because it just adds value, no matter where you are. That might be the first and the last that anyone ever receives that type of, you know, that moment that you can't ever take back. So we need to surrender to all this patriarchal, religious, you know, male, just all of that stuff. We just need to stop who we are as human beings and surrender to a moment to say to another person, well done, continue. I wish you well. You will succeed. Any moment like that, we should surrender.
Yes.
Right. And for me, I think I'm now very much into trauma, right?
Yeah.
Trauma is very real. And we all have trauma. Every single one of us. We were born in iniquity, as the Bible says. There's trauma everywhere, right? It's not like my trauma is superior than yours, but we all have trauma.
That's right.
And it's very, very real. And for our young people going through this pandemic, trying to go through school, and no one really addressed it, because that's why we're having all these mental health issues, right? Because it's just basically put on the Zoom, try to go to school, and then graduate and move on. And this
the same utilitarian perspective.
Exactly, same utilitarian perspective. I think that as not only as educators, but as parents, as community, as the village around these young people, we need to begin resisting the urge to re-traumatize them. Because our control and you have to follow the rules and all that. Listen, I look at life very differently after the pandemic. Life has changed for me, right? So this idea that we're going to go back to how things were, it has changed forever. We will never go back. We have to adjust to our new reality. And part of that new reality means that we need to stop re-traumatizing people, whether it be church, school, home. This idea that I'm controlling and gotta go. Because all we're doing is adding weights upon people. And what young people are doing is, that's where they're, bye. And then we're left like, what happened? Yeah. So I think we need to resist that urge to re-traumatize. I want to thank the Pink Room ladies, the co-hostesses, for coming on. This was rich and, as usual, live and very real. And we hope that those of you who will be watching it in the days to come may share it with others. I think there's a lot to learn here. Our young women are sending clear messages to us.
Yes.
To listen. And we also need to readjust and change to the new reality. So, everyone.
Bye. Happy week.
Thank you for being with us, and see you next time in the Pink Room.
Bye.
And we'll see you next time in the Pink Room.
The Pink Room is a produced resource of For Real Women International, Inc., a non-profit organization with headquarters in New York and affiliates in the United States, Latin America, and the Caribbean. The views expressed here by hostesses and guests do not necessarily represent the philosophy of For Real Women International, its affiliates, members, and board of directors.